So from Extreme Festival action, the final two races start with DOE Formula V, partnered with CIM Lubrifuel. Let's catch up with a couple of the drivers just before we get into race number 2.
Always a great race out on track, the Formula Vs. They are sponsored by DOE, partnered by CIM Lubrifuel, new sponsor for this year. And that's great to have all these guys coming on because apparently they like you.
Well,
that's what they tell me.
Who would not like me? Yeah.
Tell us about your racing, that's more important.
Last year, winner of the Association Championship. So this year, we just want to keep that pace up to the likes of Peter and Yaku. Go from the mid-pack and just break away from those guys. And I think we're going to have a good second heat and a good heat for race 1. So we'll see how the pace goes. Quali was interesting. So.
No, the weather conditions obviously coming into play. Yaku Shricks making a full go again this year, I believe.
I am, yes. I'm going to give it a bash. Obviously, I need to be realistic. I haven't raced competitively for 2 seasons. So I've got some catching up to do. But we've got the experience to draw from and we'll see where that goes.
Well, I know you'll be near the front, that is for sure. And Peter Hills, he hasn't been racing for 3 seasons, but you have, by the way.
I've been racing for a lot more than 2 seasons.
Well, I saw Peter Hills, by the way, was at Syringa Spa, in Motocross Park, I think. Yeah. Anyway, Peter, tell us about this, the championship, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, we had an excellent year last year, obviously, and we're looking forward to 2023, obviously, and to defend the number 1. It's not going to be very easy. As you see, Yaku's back again. He wants to get his 6th championship, and hopefully, if I can keep the 1, I can get my 5th championship. So yeah, it's a lot of fighting. Lendel's out there, very strong, and actually, there's probably about 6 or 7 guys that can win the race today.
That's what we like about these Formula Vs, I'm going to be honest. Peter, good luck to you guys. By the way, that number 1 plate does get rather heavy.
Correct.
Over to you, Greg.
Yeah, thanks, Dave. Choice words coming out of the man on the right-hand side of that interview, Jaco Shricks, after he had a big bash into turn 4 with Lennell Janssen. Just getting information from Theo Vermaak, the president or the chairman of this association, saying that Lennell Janssen is doing okay. He's going to feel the effects of that tomorrow. But running through how the championship stands after race 1, MD Bester taking the victory, leads the championship over Brandon Hills on 17 points behind 20. Eric Boyens is on 3rd. Peter Hills is in 4th, but he's tied with Jaco Shricks, who gets a bonus point for the pole position. So those two are on 14 points, and they'll be back in the action again as we see Jaco Shricks has rejoined. Unfortunately, the Bull Securities and Silver Lakes Volkswagen Formula V of Lennell Janssen will not be, after a big crash between himself and Jaco Shricks in turn 4 in race number 1. Van der Linde, Kyle Watt, Theo Vermaak and CF de Toy ahead of Marcel Bluchnoot as the top 10 in the championship heading into race 2 today. So that's how things stand. And remember that we also got the Dunlop Award going to Sean van der Linde and the ATS Award going to Theo Vermaak. They get themselves some vouchers from those 2 sponsors. Let's have a look at that big incident in turn 4. This is the reason that we don't have Lennell Janssen in this race. You can see Jaco Shricks just diving on the inside of Lennell Janssen. Lennell Janssen turns in very late and then just gets flipped over 4.5 times as he rolls end over end and side by side into turn 4's Kitty Litter, over turn 4's Kitty Litter, eventually ending up on the top of the car, and he got out, walked away fortunately, but unfortunately has not been able to get that car fixed in time for race number 2. Race number 2, we'll see Jaco Shricks and Lennell Janssen on the front row. Should have been, but of course that has now changed up to make it MD Bester and Brandon Hills, who will be looking to start things from the front end. That's how they'll be looking to try and start out today's proceedings now for race number 2. Let's see if they can keep it all together now. Hopefully everybody's staying on the black stuff and everybody's staying upright and on the 4 wheels that are available for what we like to call the 600cc brigade of single-seaters. They get so up close and personal, as you've just seen, that if they do touch wheels in these open wheelers, it can end up being very, very dangerous. Red flag at the front, just waiting for a clearance at the back before we go into the second race. DOE Formula V, partnered by CIM Lubrifuel. First race, ATS and Dunlop Tires. 5-second board. Lights on. Drop the hammer, gentlemen. Hills with some problems on the line there, just trying to get off the line, and I think his wheels were actually turned to the right-hand side, and they've caught him out ever so slightly. So Brandon Hills not winning the start he wanted. He's dropped right to almost the back of the pack of the cars as they head down into turn 2. MD Bester certainly got a great start. He now leads off in towards the setting sun, or what would have been the setting sun at this stage, but of course we're under a bit of overcast and cloudy conditions here into the closing stages. Hopefully it's going to stay dry as opposed to not wet. Possibilities certainly going to be up for grabs. Have a look at this as they head towards turn 4. Roy Douglas in the mix there, looking for a chance to stay ahead of CF Du Toit as they come up to the top of the hill for the first time. Leaders already there. MD Bester. Brandon Hills, I'm not quite sure what's gone wrong with that car. Off the line, something must have broken, but he's definitely not where he wants to be. Jaco Schrick certainly is, looking for second place into turn 5, and he's up there. Oh, in the background, big spinners there. 1-1-2 gets out of shape. Marcel Bluchnot, CF Du Toit's got together with him, and I think it might have been Roy Douglas involved in that as well. So the 777 car also involved in that mix. Yeah, it's Ernie for Mark and Clinton Kane. Clinton Kane coming together there with those two cars spinning out at turn 5. MD Bester is checking out. Boyens in second place. Schrick's on his tail. And then right behind that they line up with Van der Linde bringing up the tail end of that second pack of cars. The second pack are fighting for second place as Schrick eventually secures that second spot, gets ahead of Boyens. Peter Hills dives on the inside of the 75 of Kyle Watt. Both out of Mangaza Racing stable now, so they are teammates fighting for what is 4th place as they go side by side onto that back straightaway just ahead of Sean van der Linde. Defensive driving from Schricks. He goes inside. This time not going to give up any room to Boyens as they go through turn 4. Behind them, it's the two Mangaza Racing boys, Hills and Carl Watt. Watt at this stage, behind Peter Hills, following up to the back end of Eric Boyens into turn 5. Yet again, another look there from Carl Watt. Oh, and our leader's gone wide! MD Bester's made a huge mistake. MD Bester drops to 5th place from the lead of the race. So a massive moment there from him. That is going to be huge for this championship. MD Bester drops from the lead of the race down to 5th place with a mistake all on his own. He's now got Carl Watt in his sights though as they head towards G&H Transport Corner, and oh, it looks like in the background some problems there as well for Helder Gavaya. Looks like that might be a little bit wet on the top of the hill there. I wonder if there's a bit of rain at the top of the hill that we don't see. It looks like it might be raining at the top of the hill there, so that's probably why we're getting some cars spinning. Oh, these Dunlops are going to have to work double time now as they head down into turn 2. It's dry at 2 and 3, that's for sure. But as I said, we were expecting the rain to come in. We were hoping it was going to stay away for the last 2 races of the day. And another spinner. The 13 car getting out of shape as well. That's David Austin. Running in kind of Lotus colours there in his car. But Austin spins out at turn 8. Right, they're heading up to the top of the hill again. Let's see if that is actually the case. I'm just watching in the background to see if I can see any of the spectators getting out of harm's way. Yeah, they've moved off the veranda there at AMG Driving Academy due to the possibilities of wetness, and there you have it. Oh, Boyens out of shape. Sliding into turn number 5, and it looks like MD Best has made another mistake again. Yes, he has. Oh man, it's wet at the top of the hill there, and 2 cars that were in contention for the win, both of them leading out at the time that they spun, have now dropped back down into what is 5th and 6th place on track. So MD Bester made a mistake earlier on, and then a lap later it was Eric Boyens leading who made the same mistake. Now Jaco Schricks leads out over Peter Hills. Hills ahead now of Carl Watt. Carl Watt moving up dramatically compared to where he'd normally be in the association class, into 3rd overall. Sean van der Linde behind him. So van der Linde has crossed the line. Just waiting to see who picks up into that 5th place. I don't think it was going to be MD Bester according to the timing monitor that showed me earlier on, but we've got 9 laps of action still to come your way here, so it's not done yet. Just listening to the camera in the background there, you can hear a little bit of drops and possibilities of the rain coming down now, even at turn 4. You can see people looking for opportunities to get out of the rain on the sidelines as they come up under braking now. Jaco Schricks will know exactly what to do here. It's early braking, it's higher gears in the car so that the cars don't spin out. And Peter Hills will be looking to do the same thing there as well as they go now into turn 5 and 6. MD Besta looking for a chance as well. And you can see, they're all tapping around here gingerly compared to what they'd normally be. In the dry spots, they can give it everything they can again, and that's what's happening here down into turn 8. So it looks like the wetter part of the circuit is only at the top end of the track right now. Shrix looking to turn his luck around after the big crash we saw at the start of this race. And reviewing what happened, of course, in race 1 between Jaco Shrix and Lennard Janssen. As I said, we heard there is some recovery being done there by Lennard Janssen. Looks like some problems here. Once again from the 13 car. Shape there again. And I tell you, it's not going to be an easy day in the saddle there. As we're seeing not only the 113 of Jaco Smith, but the 13 car of David Austin also starting to slip and slide. Shrix hangs on ahead of Peter Hills. Those two seasoned campaigners, multiple champions in their own right. 4-time champion leads the race. And change of surface flag eventually comes out at turn 4. These guys will know that the surface has changed up top there. And there's even a bit of I think there's a piece of the 113 Jaco Smith's car. The nose cone is on the front end, or just the nose barrier. Again, it's slipping and sliding from Eric Boyens. The CIM Lubrifuel car slides into turn 5 for the second time. That now Roy Douglas up ahead of CF Tutoy. I think it may be, no, it's Yanni Geisa, Roy Douglas and CF Tutoy. Yes, it is. Roy Douglas ahead of Yanni Geisa and CF Tutoy as Shrix heads into turn 1 again. 5 down, 7 to go. Oh, it looks like it's wet down at turn 2. Yeah, definitely rain at turn 2 now. This is going to change up this race completely. The rain in Spain has joined us at Zwartkops eventually. And we're now under wet conditions. So what are they going to do? You can see, looking in the rearview mirror there, is Jaco Shrix. He's been in this situation on numerous occasions in the past in a single-seater. He knows what to do. There are certain parts of the track that are still dry, including turn 4, but it's getting wetter as the rain starts to come in here in the closing stages of round 1 of the Regional Extreme Festival. It's round 1, race 2 here of DOE Formula V, partnered by CIM Lubrifuel. CF Tutoy trying to close down now, and Roy Douglas leaving Yanni Geisa behind him. You'll see a couple of guys who've had the experience in the rain trying to use that experience, make up the grounds if they can. There's CF Tutoy doing the same thing, as I was saying, closing down there onto Roy Douglas. Looks like Ernie van Mark coming along for the ride as well, looking for a chance on Marcel Bluchnout. So, bit of a change up in terms of strategies, that's for sure. Is this going to be the ideal strategy for a couple of these guys? Try and stay out of harm's way, try and finish up on the track as opposed to sliding off it or slipping off it at the halfway stage. 6 done and 6 to go. Shrix from Peter Hills. Peter Hills from Kyle Watt. Kyle Watt getting through on the back marker. That, I think, was the 113 of Jaco Smith they've just gone past. Helder Gavea also about to be passed now by Sean van der Linde. Just saw that in the last part of that previous shot. Ooh, Shrixie starting to get sideways. Shrix gets a little bit out of shape there and slides into turn 5 past the AMG Driving Academy. I think that might be Clint Weston up there as well. He's turned the lights on for us. Thanks for that, bud. As Mangaza Racing is trying to find a way through here on the slower cars. Not an easy job to be done there by Kyle Watt as they start the 5th last lap. 5 to go. Shrix hangs on. Hills ahead of Watt. Kyle Watt will be thinking to yourself, hang on a second, where did this come from? I mean, the top 3 overall here, fighting with the multiple champions. He was a contender for the association class last year, just losing out to Theo Vermaak, and now is in contention for an overall win in race 2 of the DOE Formula V. Dave Austin once again going to be caught by the leaders. This guy's showing that if you just keep the pace up, these Dunlops will still work in the wet, although it's not ideal for them. If they can just keep the heat in the rubber, they'll still work for the traction required. Looks like the rain might have stopped. It's just a little bit of a downpour that's caused a bit of chaos in this one. It certainly doesn't look like it's as slippery up top as what it was. But now back markers are the problem. And traffic is going to be a little bit of an issue here for Shrix. Behind that, keeping an eye on the progress there of Eric Boyens, trying to recover after 2 spins. He's up to 6th place ahead of Roy Douglas. He'll be looking to try and close down and get through on Helder Gavea around his outside, and also try and find some kind of way around Jaco Smit. Same thing from Douglas's point of view. He tries to find a way through. Peter Hills flying through into turn 2, trying to close the gap down there on Jaco Shrix, who maintains the lead for now. Equidistant apart on the top 3. Can they do anything about that lead car? Jaco Shrix running for Cubed Coatings PDY Limited and looking for the second win to turn his luck around here after a bit of a hard start to the season. Heading to the top of the hill. As I said, even though Jaco Shrix had that incident, he still was able to get himself up into... Where did he finish up in that first race? Just double checking there. He finished up in 5th place. So 5 on 1 is certainly going to be a valiant effort to turn that luck around after it looked like he wasn't even going to get back on track after the big crash with Lennell Jansen. Maintaining equidistant apart are the top 3 as they start. 3 laps to go. Jaco Shrix is just on a 13.9. Unbelievable. So it looks like whatever the issues are out on track, they now seem to be coming back into top race conditions here for our leading cars. But they are a lot slower than what they would be on ideal dry conditions. They normally do 109s around here, but a 13.9 in the wet just shows you how well those Dunlops can work when it comes to changeable conditions. Shrix high and wide out of turn 4, but Hills is all over the back of him, and Peter Hills looks like he might be having a go here. Hills late on the brakes, but not late enough. They're coming up on the back end of Brandon Hills there. They could be... Just watching this. No, it's not Brandon Hills, it's the other bright yellow car. I think, if I'm not mistaken, that... Just waiting for the timing monitor to flick over. It's going to be Trevor Hills. Yes, it is. Trevor Hills. There he is. In the 4-4 car. 2 to go. Penultimate lap has started. And Shrix hangs on ahead of Peter Hills. Brandon had some problems right on the start. Something broke on that car as he pulled off. And he just dropped by the wayside and then had to circulate to get back into the pits. So it didn't quite go according to plan there for the man who was on the front row at the start. But Peter Hills, his dad, certainly is going absolutely incredibly here in the closing stages, and they're coming up on Clinton Kane. So with the 1.5 laps and possibly 2 cars to negotiate in terms of traffic, we heard from Dave that number 1 plate is always a difficult one to try and retain. But Peter Hills is certainly looking for a chance here to change up his luck and possibly make his way back into the front end of this championship by the time this one finishes up. It's definitely his plan, that's for sure. Down towards G&H Transport Corner, around Clinton Kane, and they'll start the final lap. Shrix and Hills. Now, Hills just put in a fast lap of 12.4 in changeable conditions compared to the 12.5 from the man out front. So evenly matched between these two. We've seen a couple of weary and competitors who have taken a bit of strain through the day by the time this part of the race day comes, but these two certainly are fired up and are not going to give anything up until that checkered flag comes out. Peter Hills around the outside of turn 4 in these conditions might not be able to make that stick. Shrixie hanging onto that inside line, not going to open up the door at all here. Puts the car right in the middle of the track, not giving any room to play there for Peter Hills whatsoever. So Shrixie's going to end up at the top end here by the looks of it. Yeah, he's going to try and hang on and beat out Peter Hills. Tube Coatings PDY Limited car going to take the victory. Mangaza Racing in second place with Peter Hills at the wheel. That's the way we do it. Shrix wins out. Peter Hills in second place. Carl Watt, take my hat off to you, brother. That's an amazing drive. Up to third place in the first time that he steps up into the official championship class. And a third place and an overall podium there for him is certainly on the cards. Great bit of reaction driving and recovery coming out of MD Bester. So that's how they'll finish up. And if I quickly run through, there's a good possibility for MD has finished in fourth. That'll give him 34. Peter Hills will finish up on 34 as well. We've got tie for the championship. MD Bester, Peter Hills will leave this unofficially, of course. I'm going to do quick mathematics in my head. Jaco Shrix with the win. Peter Hills in second. Carl Watt in third. Bester in fourth will give him 34 points. Peter Hills in second will give him 34 points. Tied for first place heading into the next round for our DOE Formula V's, partnered with CIM Lubrifuel. Amazing race action from them. It's what we expected, and great to see that they put on a superb performance for the new sponsors involved in this one. Congratulations once again to Sean van der Linde and to Theo Vermaak for winning out the Dunlop and ATS hampers, courtesy of the two sideline sponsors there. And amazing to have first race on board with ATS and Dunlop joining DOE, Start My Car, and of course CIM Lubrifuel.
Race was tricky in the beginning with the mixed conditions, guys going off up at turn 5. It was a bit chaos there, so I decided to just keep my head and then just do what I can, and I managed to keep up to Uncle Peter and Jaco for the initial part of the race. And then I saw no one was catching me, so I said just be sensible about this and get to the checkered flag. So it was brilliant. I'm extremely chuffed for a mid-pack driver. That was brilliant. I really enjoyed that. Racing with the main oaks up front, it was just beautiful.
Just had an excellent race too with Jaco. I started fourth position on the grid and managed to get up to second and just almost put Jaco to the line.
I had a bit of a tangle with Lendl, car number 91, in the first race. Quite unfortunate, it was a racing incident between the two of us. Unfortunately, he had quite a bit of damage. But coming back to the second race, I kind of feel like I've redeemed myself. It was tricky conditions with a bit of rain here and there on the circuit. But overall, happy for this result.